get started, my name is David Pascal. I'm the superintendent out at Cane Creek Park. Has anybody ever been to Cane Creek Park? 2 people, 3 people? Okay, well, Cane Creek Park is a great place to go visit if you ever get a chance and get your parents to take you out there. We have over 1,000 acres out there. We have a lake with 350 acres. We have swimming, we have paddle boating, mini golf. You can come out camping. Lots of boating and lots of fun things to do. You can fish. But it's a great place to go if you have some time to come out there and have some fun. What I've got here today is stuff that we find in Union County. A lot of this stuff we found at the park. Some stuff we bought, but it's stuff that you would find at Cane Creek Park. Some things I wouldn't want to try to get myself. But I'm just going to go through some of the different things we have here. You guys feel free to ask questions, anything you want to know about it that I may know. But we're going to start from this end and we'll work our way down and just talk about different things that you can find you'll find this in your backyard too, a lot of this kind of stuff. You may not see it, but it's there a lot of times. I'm going to start with our reptiles, which are turtles. Has anybody ever had any pet turtles or anybody see turtles in your yard? No? Yes, we have. Well, we got different kinds of turtles. Anybody know different kinds of turtles we have in the county?
I think those are dinosaurs.
We have snapping turtle. Anybody heard of a snapping turtle?
I've seen a snapping turtle on the road.
On the road? Where do you usually see snapping turtles? Where do you usually see snapping turtles? A lot of times they're on the water, aren't they? Yeah. But yeah, we got lots of snapping turtles. We also have box turtles. Box turtles is a big one. And a lot of people think all turtles go to water, but box turtles really don't go to water very often. Crocodiles?
I went to the zoo a long time ago.
Okay. Well, crocodiles we do not have around here, thankfully. That's something you might see down farther down. But what do turtles do when they get scared? They hide in their shell, don't they? And then you can't get to them in their shell, can you? Now this one apparently got scared to death out of his shell and died like that. Because you see his head poked out of the shell and his legs. But all that should be going in the shell and it should look like that when they're in the shell, right? Yeah. All right, and that's how they protect themselves.
So they can hide from
that's right.
creatures like there's an animal.
Okay, and those are reptiles. What other kind of reptiles do we have around Union County? Snakes. What do people usually think when they see a snake? They run away. I've heard a lot of people say the only good snake is a dead snake. Well, that's not true. Okay, snakes are they are very productive. They take care of other critters around that we don't want around. And some snakes take care of venomous snakes. Anybody know what a venomous snake is? Yeah, a lot of people call them poisonous snakes, but it's really called a venomous snake because they can inject the venom into you. We have 4 different kinds of venomous snakes in North Carolina. We have water moccasins, which we do not have in this area. There are no water moccasins in Union County. They're a little farther down east. So the water snakes you would see in Union County would be a northern water snake. They have a lot of the same markings. They try to make themselves look like water moccasins sometimes. But the difference you can tell when they're in the water, a water moccasin, the whole body is going to be swimming on top of the water. So you see a venomous water snake, their whole body will be on top of the water swimming way out of the water. Whereas a regular non-venomous snake, like a northern water snake like we have, more of his body's going to be under the water and you'll see his head out of the water swimming around. So that's how you can tell the difference. But we do not have water moccasins at Cane Creek Park. We do not have them in Union County. People will try to tell you we do, but we don't. Another one we have is rattlesnakes, which we do not have in Union County, at least that I've seen anywhere. You can't go up to Stanley County, and there are a lot up there in the Uwaris. Morrow Mountain State Park, you'll see rattlesnakes. But that's another one of our venomous snakes in North Carolina. Coral snakes. You'll find these in North Carolina. You'll usually find them in the Sandhills area, like around Southern Pines, Pinehurst, that area, the Sandhills. That's generally where they're found in the state. Then we have copperheads. Has anybody ever seen a copperhead? Okay, you have probably seen a copperhead. That is the one venomous snake we have in Union County. This is the one we have at Cane Creek Park. We see them occasionally, not a lot, but we do see them occasionally. Most people that get bitten by snakes, you know why they get bitten by snakes?
No.
because they're either trying to catch it or kill it. If you mess with a snake, they can bite you, and they probably will bite you if you try to mess with them. If you leave a snake alone, they will not bite you. So what should you do? Leave the snake alone. Almost everybody that gets bitten by snakes is trying to handle them, pick them up, catch them, whatever. Do not mess with a snake. If you don't mess with a snake, they won't mess with you, okay? What other reptiles do we have? And I don't have any up here, but what do y'all see a lot?
A dinosaur.
Lizards. We have a lot of lizards around. I probably could have caught a lizard today and brought it to you. There's a lot running around the park. And we also have what? Frogs. We have the big, and this kind of,
I have one of those.
you ever hear that coming out of ponds? Like in wet areas, a pond at night, you'll hear that? Big old bullfrogs, right? What do bullfrogs eat? They all eat bugs, don't they? A lot of bugs, that's good. This is a little tree frog supposed to be. That sound a lot higher? Y'all hear that a lot too at night? Calling out, talking to each other, aren't they? Saying, hey, how you doing? So we have frogs and lizards and snakes and turtles, right? Okay, well, that's our main kind of reptiles we have in this area. Now I'm talking a little bit about insects, and I have different insects, different things. Anybody know what this is? A beehive, that's right. Now, where do you usually see bees? They'll be in a hive, but then you'll see them where else? A lot. Flowers. Why are they going to flowers? That's right. They'll go get the pollen off of it to make their honey, and also when they do that, they go from plant to plant and they pollinate. So they cross-pollinate the plants so they can produce different things like flowers or some vegetables and things like that. They have to be pollinated, right? So that's why our bee population is not really good right now. I know we're using a lot of insecticides, different places, trying to get rid of other insects, and it's hurting our bee population. So it's good to have areas where you just leave it natural for the bees to be able to pollinate and do their thing and reproduce as they need to. Got a bunch of other little things. I'll let y'all look at these when y'all come up here. There's different kinds of insects I have in the glass. These are the beneficial ones. We have a honeybee in here, which we just talked about how that's beneficial. We have the ladybug. What do ladybugs do? They eat a lot of little other insects. They'll eat a lot of other insects that are aggravating us. That'll eat our plants and different things. So they're beneficial. And this is the big one right here, dragonfly. What do dragonflies do a great job of?
Fly fast.
They fly fast. Yeah, they do a great job flying fast. What else do dragonflies do? They eat mosquitoes. They eat lots and lots and lots of mosquitoes. Have you ever seen those big old things that people call mosquito hawks? Well, they're not mosquito hawks. A true mosquito hawk is a dragonfly. Dragonflies eat, I mean, if you see dragonflies around your yard, leave them alone because they will eat lots and lots of mosquitoes. They're great for that. We also have some other things that aren't necessarily beneficial on these right here. We have a fly. The flies kind of irritate you a lot, and they get in, they can spread stuff. We have a stink bug in here. Anybody ever stepped on a stink bug? It's not pretty, is it? Then we have your cricket and your cockroach and your grasshopper in here. Anybody hear the crickets at night? I got some up here that can do a cricket. That sound like crickets at night? All right. You ever get one in your house that drives you crazy? Yeah, they'll get in your house sometimes. They say that's good luck. I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, I mean, especially this time of year at night, if you've got woods around your house anywhere, you're probably hearing all these things at night, the frogs and the grasshoppers and all kinds of little critters out there making noise. And I'll let y'all play with these later when we get done. I'll let you come up here and look at this stuff. Okay, going back over here, what do we have here? Antlers from a deer, that's correct. And all this deer stuff is stuff we have found or gotten on a park. Somebody else got these off for me. I didn't get them off. But did y'all know that the male antler, the male grows antlers, right? The deer do not grow horns, they grow antlers. That's what they're called, antlers. They grow them every year and they lose them every year. Did everybody know that? Did anybody know that? So the deer lose their antlers every year. So they grow new ones starting, after they got that, they start growing new ones. So yeah, your male antlers grow the male deer grow the antlers. Can I wear it? I prefer not to. There's another skull we found of a deer with part of an antler, part of one broken off.
It looks like a cow.
Looks like a cow. Well, it's a deer. Believe me. This too is a deer.
Looks like a dinosaur.
A dinosaur? Yeah. Well, these are all deer skulls. See, these are in different states. That had the snout broken off and one of the antlers broken off. And it could have been something else killed this and then ate some of that and took care of it. Does anybody here hunt deer? You hunt deer?
I love deer. I see them a lot at my place.
Yeah.
I saw some today.
A lot of times you'll see them go in the same areas. Have you ever seen the deer cross?
I saw them 3 times. I saw 3 times today. Yeah, we did.
You ever see the deer crossing signs on the road?
She's my sister.
Well, they put the crossing signs out there because they have general paths they always go. A lot of times they're going back and forth between their home and water or whatever. So they have general paths that they go. So that's your deer. So everybody's seen deer out here before, right? We have lots of deer in Union County, sometimes too many deer.
I got lots.
Any questions on that? You have questions on that?
Yeah, we do. I see deer. 2 deer.
What is a male deer called? Does anybody know? All right, buck, good. What is a female deer called? A doe, correct. You can tell the ones that go to Piedmont here. Okay, I'll move on to trees here for a second. This is from a cedar tree. Does anybody know how to tell the age of a tree?
How many rings it has?
That's right. And you kind of see it here. We cut these off, but you kind of see the rings in here and count them. But the rings of a tree, sometimes you have huge trees and they'll have tons of rings. But that's the amount of rings to the center that is the age of that tree. Has anybody ever done that before? Yeah. Okay. Let's say, well, this is a cedar tree, and all different kinds of trees do this. What is something trees provide? They provide oxygen, correct?
Air.
Yeah, oxygen, that's what you say, air, the same thing. Homes, that's great. Who do they provide homes to? Birds? Raccoons?
Fruit.
Right, yeah, some trees do fruit, correct?
Orange and apple. They need water.
What else might live in a tree?
Birds.
Yeah, we got birds. What do you see running around in trees all the time?
Squirrels.
Squirrels. Absolutely.
I was on a nature walk. One time when I was playing a playground, I went to a walk, and we came out, we saw a deer, and when we saw a little treehouse in the forest, and we saw a squirrel climbing on it.
Oh man. Well, sometimes yeah, one animal will make a nest and something else will live in it. Here's a little bird's nest that we pulled out. Birds will use just about anything to make a nest. We'll see bird's nest made with fishing line and trash, and then they'll use some of the straw. This got a lot of mud in it.
Someone just made a nest in your grandpa's shoes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They'll make one anyway, and they'll make it out of anything. So, yeah, we've seen all kinds of stuff, that's crazy stuff in bird's nests. Does anybody know how a tree grows other trees? How it plants other trees?
By its oxygen and by the roots.
Well, it drops seeds a lot of times, right? Anybody seen a pine cone before? Seeds are on the pine cone. That's how they keep on reproducing new pine trees. This is a pine tree that we took out of the park, part of the pine tree. And what do you think happened to this thing? I'll give you a hint. There's pictures on it.
It got so different colors.
The woodpeckers got a hold of it. Now, what do woodpeckers do?
They put holes in it.
That's right. They peck, 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 peck. You know how many times a woodpecker can peck in 1 second? 20 times in a second.
20 times in a second.
So you try to clap your hands 20 times in a second. Anybody do it? 1,000. No, that wasn't 20 times. How many times was that? 2, 3? Clap your hands 20 times. No, there's no way. Now, can you imagine that bird pecking at that thing 20 times in 1 second? That's really fast.
I heard of someone doing
There's no way. For a second? Well, we got a lot of different kinds of woodpeckers in the county. We have a hairy woodpecker, we have the red-headed woodpecker, we have the pileated woodpecker, we have the northern flicker, yellow-bellied sapsucker, that's considered a woodpecker. So different kinds of woodpeckers we have going on here. You guys ever see the woodpeckers? Usually, do you hear woodpeckers a lot? Yeah, sometimes they'll get on people's houses too and peck, peck, peck on their house. But what are they doing that pecking for? Does anybody know? Well, one thing they're building a home, so they can put that hole in the tree. That's correct. They'll buy bugs. Some of them will find sap in there. They find food in the tree. But also, yeah, they will build homes. And sometimes they'll put a hole in a tree, and a squirrel will go there and live in that hole, won't they? Maybe the woodpecker's not living in there. The squirrel's living in there. Mm-hmm. Usually the woodpeckers build stuff in dead trees. They usually try to find a dead tree and build their homes in that. Because if they do a lot of pecking in these trees, they'll probably eventually be dead anyway, wouldn't they? Because they go through this bark, and inside the bark there's a layer that gets all the nutrients up to the top of the tree. So sometimes we get pine beetles that go in these trees also. And they'll go in and they'll eat around that layer, and the tree cannot produce the food to go to the top of the tree, right? It cannot nourish itself. So that kills the tree out. So we have a bad population of pine beetles in Union County that kills a lot of pine trees. And there's another tree, and you can see, can't see good here, but it goes way down here. Y'all come up here and look at it in a few minutes. Not now. In a few minutes when we're done, we'll have everybody come up here and look. But you look at this thing goes way down here. So that's a big old hollow tree for something to live in. And talking about birds, and I've got different birds here, the sounds. I'm going to put this down here. I'm going to see if y'all can guess what sounds what down here for a different bird, okay? Put it behind my back. Let's see. What do y'all think that is? What kind of bird? Anybody know what that would be? It's a bald eagle. Has anybody ever seen a bald eagle? In real life? Well, we have several bald eagles that live out of Cane Creek Park. Really? Oh, wait, so we have a few bald eagles that live out of Cane Creek Park, and they come out a lot in the spring and in the fall. Okay, let's see what I got here. Can y'all hear that? How'd you know that was an owl? Because you saw me press it? That's an owl, yes, you're right. Some people think all owls go hoo hoo, right? Everybody think the hoot owls? Well, all owls don't. We've got screech owls and barred owls. Different kind of owls make different sounds. Okay, so you got, this is going to be an easy one. A duck. I know everybody's seen a duck. Has everybody fed the duck somewhere? Yeah. This is what we call a mallard duck. This will be a male mallard duck because of all the coloring. Female mallard ducks are more just gray and brown. But yeah, everybody knows ducks quack, all right? Okay, so this is the last one. Y'all know what this is? That's a hawk, that's right. And we have lots of hawks in Union County. Lots at the park. Y'all probably see them all over the place. Y'all probably see them sitting up on power lines, up there looking for something to eat, right? I know sometimes we have to bush hog. We cut the fields out of the parks, and they know when they hear that bush hog, there's going to be little mice running around, and they'll come up and sit in the trees outside, and they'll watch, and they'll wait to get down and get the mice and snakes or whatever, because different things are running when we're doing that. Okay, keep it on with one plant. Does anybody know what kind of plant this is? Y'all have pretty good eyes. Y'all know? Poison ivy. Now you can tell poison ivy? Leaves of 3, that's it. Leaves of 3, let it be. A lot of people see the leaves of 5, which is Virginia creeper, and think that's poison ivy. It is not. In the wintertime, when there's no leaves on there, how do you tell?
Mary's white, take white.
That's pretty good. I've never heard that one. I just call it the big old furry vine, because the vines get all furry. I mean, you'll see huge ones that are real furry, and even when there's no leaves on there, the oil can get on you. That's what happens. You get the oil from the plant in your skin and it absorbs in your skin. And a lot of people react to that and it causes them to break out and itch real bad. So some people it doesn't affect, but most people it does. So the best thing to do if you come in contact with any kind of poison ivy is to go wash off real quick with soap and water, wherever you touched it, to try to get that oil off your skin before it absorbs in.
How did you put it in that?
I actually bought this. If you come out to the park, I can show you lots of places we have it growing though. But some of them get huge vines that big around, big old furry vines. You'll cut into them and all the liquid comes out. Okay. I'm gonna cover this up. Anybody know what kind of spider this is? We have two kinds of poisonous spiders, or venomous spiders, in North Carolina. Anybody know what they are? We do not have tarantulas, no. Some people might have a pet tarantula, but we don't have any running free, hopefully. That scared me to death if I saw a tarantula coming at me. Okay, what you got? Brown recluse. That's what this one is. This is a brown recluse. And they're not terribly large. They're little spiders, but they have a little violin shape on them. When you come up here and look later, you'll be able to see that. They have a little shape of a violin on their body, though, on their torso. But they can, if they bite you, what happens is the tissue starts breaking down around where they bit you, and it can get infected and get pretty bad. So that's one of our venomous spiders. What's the other one? Everybody should know this one. Black widow. Everybody seen a black widow? You see these a lot more than you do a brown recluse.
It's upside down.
Well, see how it's written? So it's hanging upside down. There's an actual real one in here too. So y'all be able to look at that when you come up here. How can you tell a black widow?
Because it has like a red line down the back.
Yeah, they have those red spots on them, don't they? You'll see these a lot of places. You'll see them anywhere where it's kind of cool and shady all the time. Cool, dark places. They like to go there. I found some in my garage before. I found some under my little well cover.
Is it dead?
But yeah, stay away from these things. Yes, it's dead. But you want to stay away from these if you see them, okay? Don't try to smoosh them with your hands. Try to stay away from them because they can make you very sick.
We had a black snake in our yard.
A black snake? Black snakes are good, so don't mess with them. Don't hurt them. You didn't kill it, did you? Okay.
Put it back in the pill.
All right. Moving along. Does anybody know what did this?
Beaver.
A beaver.
A beaver.
Looks like a big pencil, doesn't it? Yeah.
Looks like it's
Be hard to write with that, wouldn't it? We have a lot of beavers out at Cane Creek Park. We don't see them a whole lot, but we can see where they've been. Because they will take a tree, they will gnaw it down, and it'll fall over.
That's a tree.
Does anybody know why they gnaw at these trees so much? Okay, one at a time. What'd you say?
Teeth sharp. That's what I said.
Well, they keep their teeth sharp, but
Keep them short so they don't fall out.
this is a beaver skull right here. Their teeth grow their whole life. Their teeth never stop growing. So that's why they start gnawing. They gnaw and gnaw to keep them shaved down. Otherwise, their teeth would be down to here, and they won't be able to do much, would they? So that's one reason they do as much gnawing as they do to keep their teeth short. That's it.
They keep growing after their
When they knock what they knock the trees down for, though? What do they want the trees down? They use them to build their homes. That's one good thing. Yeah. What's at the top of the tree? What grows out on the branches? Leaves. Gives them something to eat, doesn't it? So they find a tree, they can eat the leaves out of the trees. Yeah, and they use a lot of their stuff to build. Does anybody know where a beaver lives? What it's called?
in the water. A beaver dam.
A lodge. They live in a lodge. They build a dam to dam up water, but they build a lodge to live in, is what it's called. We see a lot of these out in the park. We have a lake out there, but they can be on small creeks. We have another park over in Wingate, Jesse Helms Park, that has a small creek going through it. And they dammed that creek up to where it went back and basically made a pond back onto the farmer's property beside us. So to get rid of those dams, it's amazing how fast and how strong they can make these things. We had to blow them up with dynamite, the dam, to get the water flowing back again. But it's amazing the amount of trees they can knock down and what they can do. Has anybody ever seen one swimming? You see one swimming? What do they use to get your attention? It's something else they use to build stuff too. Anybody know? Their tail. They'll slap the tail, won't they, on the water? And usually if you get near one, you hear it slapping his tail, it means he's not real happy with you, so you probably want to get it pretty far away. Yes, sir?
They sometimes carry mud and they use their tail to flap it out.
That's right. They use that to flap the mud on their dams or their lodges to help build it and make it strong. That's correct. So this is a beaver skull that we bought. This is actually not a real one. This is one that was made. This is a real one we found. It doesn't have the teeth or anything on it, but that's a real beaver skull right here that we found out of the park. Okay, does anybody know what this might be right here? See that old ugly face, the old ugly hiring at you? What's something you see running around ugly at night? Possum. Who said possum? Mama smart over there. That's a possum, that's right. Now possums only come out at night. What does that mean? What are they called? Nocturnal. So they only come out at night. That's why you usually see them out running out at night across the road and scattering across. They'll go anywhere looking for food. I've seen them at my house eating cat food before, try to run them off. Huh?
Why do they pretend they're dead?
That's how they protect themselves. If they see something coming out, they act like they're dead, so they'll leave them alone.
So they act like
You ever act like you're dead? Does anybody ever say you're playing possum when you're acting like you're asleep or something? They tell you you're playing possum? That's right, but they got some mean looking teeth. You ever have one look at you like that and at you? It's not a pretty thing. They're an ugly little animal. Okay, what other kind of nocturnal animals do we have around? Raccoons. Okay, this is a raccoon skull right here. It doesn't look very big, does it? You would think a raccoon's a little bigger, but that's a raccoon skull. How can you tell a raccoon when you look at them?
my mom and dad seen them before in my neighbor's yard.
Oh, really? But you usually see them at night, right? How can you tell a raccoon? What's
By the color of it and how big the head is sometimes.
A lot of times you'll see those black circles around their eyes too, right? Black mass, that's right. And the tail is, see the tail, that stripe like that? This is a raccoon pelt here. This is a real raccoon pelt here. If you see a raccoon during the day, that's not a good thing. Okay, so make sure you always stay away from raccoons. But during the day, if there's a raccoon running around the middle of the day, usually there's something wrong with it. It's sick or there's something wrong with it. Okay, what other kind of nocturnal animal might we have?
Squirrels.
You see squirrels during the day. Skunk. Who likes a skunk? Anybody? Okay. Has anybody ever seen a skunk look at that like that, Adam? That's a mean looking skunk, isn't it? Well, hopefully we never get that close to one if we're around them. That's a skunk. This is not a real head, but it looks just like a real one.
When I was going down the street, we smelled a skunk.
Now, how can you tell a skunk? How are you looking at it? What does it look like?
Black and white fur.
Looks like that? That's what a skunk looks like, right? Has the black and the white on it. And that white stands out, kind of tells you danger, right? This is real, yes. And you can smell it too a little bit if you get close up on it. Has anybody ever seen the cartoon Pepe Le Pew? Anybody? I know that's probably yeah. All the parents here have seen Pepe Le Pew. I doubt it. I don't know if they still show that anymore. But Pepe Le Pew goes hopping around, and everywhere he goes, there's smell coming off of him. That's really not how a skunk is. They don't smell that bad all the time. What a skunk does is they use it as a defense mechanism. So under their tail, they have these little glands that can shoot the spray out, the stinky spray. So if you ever get near a skunk and you see it turning around at you and throwing its tail up, you're in trouble. Okay, that's how they protect themselves. Anything that they feel cornered or endangered, they're going to spray you under their tail.
If you see them doing this, hopping down this and
Hopefully if you get that close to a skunk, you're going to ease your way away from it before they get to that point. So has anybody ever seen a skunk in the wild before? I've seen one running around. I've seen them on the roads when they run over. I see them when I'm driving sometimes, but I've never come up close on one. Okay, the final skull I have is this one. Who said something earlier? It's not a nocturnal animal. That's a squirrel. Little gray squirrel.
I think it's a squirrel.
Yeah, and he has little tiny teeth down here. But squirrels have to eat all the time too. That's why they're always eating on nuts and stuff like that.
They're eating nuts.
Because that's it grinds down their teeth also. Because like hamsters, squirrels, things like that, their teeth always grow.
Is that fish real?
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Anybody ever seen a fox squirrel? I don't have one here. What did it look like? They're a lot bigger than a regular squirrel, aren't they? What color was it?
Brown and white, usually a lot more white and black.
Did it have kind of a mask on it that looked a little different? I know down at Jesse Helms Park in Wingate, I've seen some fox squirrels that are gray with kind of a black mask, and they look a lot bigger than a regular squirrel. Out at Cane Creek Park, we have fox squirrels that are black and have a little white face. And I've seen them a few times. I don't see them a whole lot, but I know they're out there. I see them in certain parts. A what?
An orange body.
Not orange body. They're all black and they have a white face, the ones we have. But there's different kind of fox squirrels all over the place. If you go down to the beach, they have a lot of them, like on golf courses down there and stuff, they'll have fox squirrels. But I mean, fox squirrels can be all different colors and sizes, but the ones we have are the ones I talked about. Okay, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about from Cane Creek Park. Anybody know what kind of fish this is?
Bass.
There's a largemouth bass. This is what Cane Creek Park is known for, our largemouth bass. Has anybody ever caught a bass? Have you? How big was it? This big? About that big? It gets bigger as you get older too, probably. Yeah, this is a largemouth bass. This is one of the main fish we have out of Cane Creek Park. Anybody know what other kind of fish we have around here?
Cat.
What was that?
Cat.
Catfish, that's right. We get some big catfish.
Dogfish.
A what? A dogfish. No. What'd you have? Bluegill. Yeah, we got bluegill. Another name for bluegill, I think people call brim. A lot of people say the same thing, the sunfish. We have what we call crappie around here, crappie. A lot of people like to eat that. Those get a little bit bigger than your sunfish. That's what people generally eat.
Trout.
Don't have a lot of trout around here, mostly trout up in the mountain streams. But yeah, that's one we have in North Carolina for sure. We also have a lot of carp out at Cane Creek. They grow huge. They're pretty much an invasive fish, and nobody really likes a carp. They eat a lot of things you don't. I mean, sometimes they can do good things by eating some of the algae out and things, but they also can cause a lot of problems too. So does anybody have any questions about different things you've seen in the county, different animals? This fish is real, yes. This is called a Cane Creek Park, and it was mounted like this. This was a real fish, yes. Well, I didn't do anything to it, but yeah, they call it mounting it, yes.
What is that with the wood?
I'm not sure. I guess so. Like I said, I didn't do it, I just brought it. Anybody have any questions, any comments? Fish live in the water, that's correct. Yes, sir.
Fish eat littler fish.
Yeah, a lot of fish do eat littler fish, that's correct. Okay, well, if y'all have any more questions, I'm going to let y'all come up, but please come up orderly to look at this stuff, okay? Please don't be real rough on my animals, because this has to last a long time for us. So go real easy on them. If you have any questions, you can ask me while you're up here looking at them, get a closer look at stuff, and I thank you for your time.